Dear students, now I'm going to discuss some important NEET CET questions from the chapter Reproduction in Organism. Coming to the first question. After culturing the anther of a plant, a few diploid plants were found along with the haploid plants. The diploid plants could have arisen from options are generative cell of a pollen, cells of anther wall, vegetative cell of a pollen, exine of a pollen wall. Look at the question here. They mention the culturing of anther. So here we culture the anther using the biotechnological method. So we got some diploid plants along with the haploid plants. Normally the pollen grains are haploid in nature. So after culturing the pollens, we should get the haploid plants. But at the same time, we got some diploid plants. So now the question is how diploid plants are arised. So either from the generative cell or anther wall or from the vegetative cell or from the exine wall. So to understand this, we should know the structure of pollen and anther. First, to check the structure of pollen here, we know that the pollen consists of two wall layer. The outermost layer is exine and inner layer is intine. And inner to that, vegetative cell is present and generative cell is present. So all those structure which has a haploid number of chromosomes. Okay. So if the plant will arise from those structures, either vegetative cell or generative cell or exine or intine, the plant must has a haploid set of chromosome. The plant should be haploid. So it's clear the plant was not developed from the generative cell, vegetative cell and exine of a pollen. So these are the options are wrong because they are diploid plants, not the haploid plants. So the remaining option is the cells of anther. Whether this option is right, to check that we should know the structure of anther also. So look at the anther here. So the anther consists of outermost layer epidermis, endothelium, middle layer. So this is the wall of the anther, and the cells of the anther wall, they consist of 2n number of chromosome. That is a diploid number of chromosome. If the plant will arise from this cell, the plant must have a diploid set of chromosome. So here in anther culture, we got some diploid plants because those plants are arised from the anther wall. So the right answer is B, cells of anther wall. Coming to the second question. If basal half of an onion bulb is removed and upper half is sown in the ground, then the new plant will. The options are emerge normally, not emerge, be without leaves, be without flowers. See, you know the structure of onion. The onion is a modified leaf. The base of the onion, they consist of roots, and the upper part of the onion, they produces a leaf. But in question, they mention the basal half of the onion bulb is removed, means the root portion is removed. Only the upper half is retained and that part is sown in the ground. So whether the new plant will emerge normally or not emerge, or they will emerge but there is no leaves, but there is no flowers in the last option. So what is the right option here? So you know that for the development of the bulb, there must be a root, and the root should be touched to the ground layer. But here, the basal part of the onion bulb is removed, means root portion is removed. Whether the plant, whether the bulb can germinate? No, it is not possible because there is no roots. So the option is B, not emerge. Coming to the third question. The primary biological importance of sexual reproduction in an organism is that it. The options are A, necessary for the survival of the individual, B, causes a new mutation to occur in offspring, promotes the genetic variability among offsprings, These allows a larger number of offspring to be produced. So we should know that the primary role of the sexual reproduction, it is to produce a variability. So we already studied also. The lower organism which has a sexual mode of reproduction, when the level of organism which will be increases, so that will switches to the sexual mode of reproduction. It is a one kind of adaptation for the survival of the individual. So look at the options here. Is it necessary for the survival of the individual? It is also the closely related answer, but the best answer is we have to find causes a new mutation to occur in the offspring. No, the mutation will not occur in the time of sexual mode of reproduction. It may be a result of error in the DNA, or it may be some other reason, the physical or biological reason the mutation will occur. The sexual reproduction always will not be reason for the mutation. So the coming to the third option, promotes genetic variability among the offspring. So here they mention the variability. So the variability is the best answer for that. So look at the last option also, allows a large number of offspring to be produced. But when compared with the sexual mode of reproduction that produces a less number of offspring. So the option D is wrong. So when compared with the A and C, the C is the best answer. So the answer C. Coming to the fourth question, if soil around stem of potato plant is constantly removed from very young stage, then only roots remain in the soil, then the potato tubers in plant will be larger, be smaller, be formed normally, not be formed. We know that potato is a underground modified stem. For the development of potato, there must be a soil. So, but in question they mentioned the soil around the stem of potato plant is constantly removed in a very young stage. The only roots remains in the soil. Then the potato tubers. In the absence of soil, the potato cannot germinate. They cannot develop. So the answer is C, not be formed. Coming to the fifth question, plants that have lost their capacity to produce seeds reproduce by spores, vegetative propagation, fission, regeneration. So look at the question carefully. Here they mention plants that have lost their capacity to produce seeds. Produce seeds means it is a seed-bearing plant, either gymnosperm or angiosperm. Seed is a result of sexual reproduction. So they mentioned lost their capacity to produce seeds means they lost the sexual mode of reproduction. If they lost the sexual mode of reproduction, how they will reproduce? Of course, it is a vegetative mode of reproduction because it is a higher level of plants. The spores of fission and regeneration we can see in a lower level of organisms. Higher level of organisms, if they lost the sexual mode of reproduction, they switches to a vegetative mode of reproduction. So the answer is B, vegetative propagation. Coming to the sixth question, some organisms are capable of asexual or sexual reproduction. Under favorable condition, reproduction proceeds asexually. When conditions become more stressful, reproduction switches to a sexual mode. Why? And the options are sexual reproduction is simple and more rapid, allowing a larger number of offspring to be produced. Sexual reproduction requires the two separate individuals who can mutually provide nutrient support during the stress. Sexual reproduction produces the individual with a new combination of recombined chromosomes, increasing diversity. Asexual reproduction requires more energy. So look at the question carefully. Here they mentioned some organisms capable of asexual as well as a sexual. So asexual and sexual, so they has a both type of reproduction. When the condition become favorable, this switches to a asexual mode. When the condition become stressful, means unfavorable, this switches to a sexual. So why? So we know that we studied in the third question the basic criteria of the sexual mode of reproduction is to survive in the nature. For the survival, they produce a variability. So the variability comes by the recombination, means by the fusion of the two gametes. So it is on a natural adaptation. seen in the organisms. Now look at the first option. Sexual reproduction is simple, so it's not a simple. So the first option itself is wrong. And they already mentioned the large number of offspring. When compared with the sexual, they produce a less number of offspring. So the option A is wrong. Coming to the B, sexual reproduction requires the two separate individuals. Yes. Who can mutually provide nutrient support during the stress. In the condition of unfavorable, they will not support the mean of nutrients. So the option B is wrong. Sexual reproduction produces individual with a new combination of recombined chromosomes, increasing the diversity. The option C is right. And whereas in a D, sexual reproduction requires more energy is a wrong answer. So the correct answer is C. Sexual reproduction produces individually the new combination of recombined chromosomes, increasing diversity. Coming to the seventh question, a feature of reproduction that is common to amoeba, Spirogyra, and yeast is that options are they reproduce asexually, they are all unicellular, they reproduce only sexually, they are all multicellular. So in a question they mentioned the feature of reproduction that is common to amoeba, Spirogyra, and yeast. So in the first option they reproduce asexually. Yes. So all those organisms they reproduce by asexually. It is the right option. But look at the other option also. They are all unicellular. Amoeba is unicellular and yeast is unicellular, but Spirogyra is a multicellular. They reproduce only sexually? No, they will reproduce by the asexual mode. They are all multicellular? No, only Spirogyra is a multicellular, but amoeba and yeast are unicellular. So the correct option is A. They reproduce asexually. Coming to the eighth question. What is the most common method of reproduction in majority of fungi and bacteria? Coming to the first option, binary fission, multiple fission, budding, spore formation. So in this question, we have to concentrate two different type of organism. One is a fungi and another is a bacteria. So coming to the first option, binary fission. The bacteria, amoeba, paramecium, and all they will reproduce by the binary fission, but fungi they will not reproduce by the binary fission. So the first option is wrong. So coming to the second option, the multiple fission. The most of the sporozoans or the algae they will reproduce by the multiple fission. For example, Plasmodium, Chlamydomonas, etc. But fungi they will not reproduce by the multiple fission. So again the second option is wrong. Coming to the third option, budding. In case of Hydra and yeast, they will reproduce by the budding, but not bacteria or fungi. So again the third option is also wrong. So what about fourth option, the spore formation? We know that normally the fungus they will reproduce by the spore, as well as the bacteria also can reproduce by the spore. So for example, formation of endospore. So the right answer is D. So they can reproduce spore formation, both fungi and bacteria. Coming to the ninth question. In a practical test, a student has to identify the organism in which syngamy does not occur. In those organisms, the female gamete undergoes development to form a new organism without fertilization. This phenomenon is called X. Identify the organism and the phenomenon X. So look at the option A, frog, and the phenomenon is parthenogenesis. The option is B, lizard, phenomenon is gametogenesis. The C is a rotifers, phenomenon is embryogenesis, and the last option is a honeybee, and the phenomenon is a parthenogenesis. Coming to the question, in a practical test, a student has to identify the organism in which syngamy does not occur. Syngamy means the fission of two gametes. The fission of two gametes means is of course is a sexual mode of reproduction, but here there is no sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, move on to, in those organisms, the female gamete undergoes development to form new organism without fertilization. So here the new organism will develop but without fission of the gamete. This phenomenon is called X. The formation of new organism without fertilization, this phenomenon is called X. Identify the organism and the phenomenon X. Coming to the first option A, frog and the parthenogenesis. So here, the formation of new organism without fertilization is called parthenogenesis. Of course, it is right, but frog is not a correct answer because frog will reproduce by the Singani process. And next, coming to the phenomenon, here itself is wrong, so the option B is wrong, and the third option is also wrong. And coming to the last option D, the phenomenon is right. At the same time, the honeybee it reproduces by the parthenogenesis, means without fission of the gamete. Honeybee is the best example for parthenogenesis. So the right answer is D. Coming to the 10th question. So this is a massive following question. In the column 1, they give organisms like butterfly, crow, parrot, crocodile. In column 2, they give an approximate lifespan, 60 years, 140, 15, 1 to 2 weeks. So the options are given here. So while solving the massive following question, first we have to find which one is the familiar one. The butterfly is the familiar one here. So the normally butterfly is live around 1 to 2 weeks. So first we have to search those option A for 4. So in the option A and option D, it will be given A 4, and next it is B is 3 here. B 3. The crow is a 15 year. Yes, of course it's the right. Crow is a 15 year. Here also it is a 3, and here it is also 3. Now on to the third one, the parrot. The parrot can highest lifespan, that is around 140 years. So here C is the 1, so it is a wrong option. Here C is a 2, so the answer 4. Which matches all. The parrot is 140 years, and the D, crocodile, it is around 60 years. The average lifespan of the crocodile is 60 years, so the answer is D. Coming to the 11th question, so it is also massive following question. In the column 1, they given different types of the sexual part of the plant body, and in the column 2, they given the examples. So in the column 1, they given a gemule, leafwood, bulbil, offset, conidia. In the column 2, they given agave, penicillium, Atrahaceae, sponges, Bryophylla, and the options are given here. So now coming to match each other, the gemule is a example for sponges, the leafbud is example for Bryophyllum, the bulbil is example for agave, the offset is example for water hyacinth, and it is also called Eichhornia, and is also called terror of Bengal. The conidia is example for penicillium. So the answers are A for 4. So the option C is wrong. Now we have a doubt about A, B, D. The leaf bud is a 5, B is a 5. So B is wrong and D is also wrong. So the right answer is A. Coming to the 12th question, and it is assertion and reason based one. The assertion is the entry of sperm activates the egg for completing the meiosis, and the reason is only the acrosome of the sperm enters the egg. And the options are both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Both assertion and reason are true, but the reason is not a correct explanation for the assertion. Assertion is a true, but reason is a false. Both the assertion and reason are false. And look at the assertion first. They mentioned the entry of sperm activates the egg for completing the meiosis. Egg will complete the meiosis only after the fusion of male gamete. So the assertion is a true. And coming to the reason, here it is mentioned only acrosome will enter into the egg, but it is not a correct statement. Except flagella, the head and middle piece of the sperm, the parts of the sperm that will enter into the egg, not only the acrosome. So the assertion is a true, reason is a false. So the answer is C. Assertion is a true, reason is false. Coming to the 13th question, and it is a diagram based one. The given figure represents the events marked as A, B, C, and D in the life of general reproduction. Identify the events A, B, C, and D. So look at the diagram here. Pre-fertilization event, fertilization, post-fertilization, and they mention the A, B, C, D. Now coming to the pre-fertilization event, we know that in pre-fertilization there are two processes. One is the gametogenesis and another it is the gamete transfer. And in a post-fertilization it is a zygote formation and embryo development, that is embryogenesis. Now coming to the pre-fertilization, in pre-fertilization which begins from gametogenesis, that is a formation of a gamete, either a male or female gamete. Normally male gametes are motile in nature and the female gametes are non-motile in nature. So male gamete must carry towards the female gamete. That process is called gamete transfer. After gamete transfer, the fertilization, that is a syngamy, will occur. So here they mention the syngamy. So before the syngamy there must be a gamete transfer. Before the gamete transfer there must be a gametogenesis. So A indicates the gametogenesis, B indicates the gamete transfer. And next, after syngamy, the zygote will be formed. So D indicates the zygote formation. After zygote formation, the embryo will be developed. So the C indicates the embryo development, that is embryogenesis. Now look at the options. First, gamete transfer A. So but here A is the gametogenesis. So the option A itself is wrong. So coming to the B, gametogenesis, correct, and a gamete transfer and zygote formation and embryogenesis, yes, option correct. So now coming to the third option, gametogenesis, zygote formation, gamete transfer, embryogenesis, but B indicated zygote formation, but B is a gamete transfer, so the option C is wrong. And coming to the last option, gametogenesis, gamete transfer, embryogenesis is given, so again the last option is also wrong. So the right answer is B, gametogenesis, gamete transfer, zygote formation, embryogenesis. Coming to the 14th question, it is a statement based one. Consider the following statements and choose the correct option. The first statement is the genetic constitution of a plant is unaffected in a vegetation propagation. Second is the rhizome in a ginger serves as an organ of vegetative reproduction. And the last statement is the totipotency of a cells enables us to micropropagate plants. Look at the first statement. Here they mention the genetic constitution of a plant is unaffected in the time of vegetation propagation. We know that the time of a vegetation propagation, so there is no recombination, same parental character will be retained. So we call it as the clones. So the first statement is right. Coming to the second one, rhizome in a ginger serves as a vegetative reproduction. Yes, rhizome is underground modified stem, so they vegetative production, so they used as a vegetative propagules. So the second statement is also right. Coming to the last statement, totipotency of a cells enables us to micropropagate plants. We know that totipotency means it is capable of develop a whole new plant using the single cell, and it is also called the tissue culture method. So the last statement is the totipotent cells enables us to micropropagate plants. So this statement is also right. So look at the options now. The statement 1 and 2 alone is true, so it's a wrong option. And the second one, statement 2 alone is true, so this is also Wrong option. And C, the statement is 3 alone is a true. This is wrong. And the last option is all the three statements 1, 2, and 3 are true. So this is the right option. Coming to the 15th question. The polyestrous mammal is man, rabbit, cat, horse. The polyestrous means having a more than one period of estrus in a year. So that is a cat. Cat is the right answer. So coming to the 16th question. Monoecious plant of a Cara shows occurrence of. So we know that what is the monoecious. Monoecious means both male and female organ present in the same plant. But here we should note down the example also. Here they mention it is a Cara. Means Cara has both male and female organ on the same plant. Look at the options. Stamen and carpel of the same plant. So in the case of monoecious plant, both stamen and carpel are present in the same plant. But here they mentioned it is a here they mentioned stamen and carpel. Stamen and carpel is the present the higher level of plants, so it's not a correct option. The second one is upper antheridium and lower oogonium on the same plant. And C is upper oogonium and lower antheridium on the same plant. The last is antheridiophore and archegoniophore on the same plant. To solve this question, we should know the structure of a Cara. Just look at here. We can see this is the plant body, and here we can see the female sex organ oogonium, and here we can see male sex organ antheridium. Here oogonium is the present above the plant body and male sex organ present below the plant body. So the right option is upper oogonium and lower antheridium. So that is the option C. Coming to the 17th question. Vegetative propagation in a mint occurs by, and the options are offset, rhizome, sucker, and the runner. The vegetative propagation in mint occur by the sucker. So the answer is C, sucker. Coming to the 18th question. Which physiological process is important for the formation of offspring? And the options are copulation, digestion, nutrition, and assimilation. And the answer is copulation. Coming to the 19th question. What is the reason for genetic variation? And the options are preservation of discontinuous characters, preservation of continuous character. Some characters are preserved by reproduction, preservation of inheritance. So the genetic variation means it is the difference in the DNA sequences between the individual within a population, and this could happen because of the characters are preserved by the reproduction. So the answer is C. Some characters are preserved by reproduction. Coming to the 20th question. What is the sequence of development for fission stages? So here it is options. To understand this question, we should know the events of fission. So here it is the events of fission. This is one organism. This organism first undergone into karyokinesis, means the nuclear division. So two nucleus is formed, and after nuclear division, it's undergone into cytoplasmic division. That means the cytokinesis. After cytokinesis, two identical daughter cell will be formed. So the correct option is first one, division of nucleus, division of cytoplasm, and two daughter cells. Coming to the 21st question. Which sentence is the proper for eukaryotic, unicellular, irregular shaped protozoans? And the options are division of cytoplasm in the mid-longitudinal axis, division of cytoplasm transversely, division of cytoplasm longitudinally, division is irregular. Look at the question carefully. Here they mentioned eukaryotic, unicellular, irregular shaped protozoans. It means what? It is the amoeba. So the amoeba will be divided by irregular shape, So the right answer is D. Coming to the 22nd question. Which option is the proper for formation of exogenous bud? The first option is any organ of parent body divides frequently mitotically to form bud. B is all organs of parent body frequently divide mitotically to form bud. C is any organ of parent body frequently divides mitotically. As a result, bud forms as an outgrowth. D is any organ of parent body frequently divides amitotically. Bud forms as an outgrowth. And read the question carefully. Here they mention which option is the proper for formation of exogenous bud. Exogenous means the bud which formed outside the parent body. Look at the first option. Any organ of parent body divides frequently mitotically to form bud. So it is also almost a closely related answer, but look at the other option also. All organs of parent body frequently divide mitotically to form bud, but all organs will not form the bud. So the option B is wrong. The option C, any organ of parent body frequently divide mitotically. As a result, bud forms as an outgrowth. It is the right answer. And look at the last option. Any organ of parent body frequently divides amitotically, but bud forms as an outgrowth. So the bud will be formed by the mitotical division, not the amitotical. So the option D is wrong. Now the confusion is the A and C. So read the option A once again. Any organ of parent body divides frequently mitotically to form bud. And the C is any organ of parent body frequently divides mitotically. As a result, bud forms as an outgrowth. Here they mention it is outgrowth because in a question also they mention exogenous bud. Exogenous means outside the parent body. So the best answer is C. Any organ of parent body frequently divide mitotically. As a result, bud forms as an outgrowth. So the option A is wrong. So the answer is C. Coming to 23rd question, what is the fragmentation? And the options are parent body breaks into smaller, larger parts and required parts regenerate to form complete organism. Parent body longitudinally divides in equal parts, required parts regenerate and complete organism is formed. Parent body transversely divide into equal parts, required parts regenerate to form complete animal. D is the parent body alternatively divides longitudinally and transversely. Remaining parts regenerated to form complete organism. So we know that definition of fragmentation, the parent body breaks into smaller, larger parts and required parts regenerate to form complete organism. So the option A is the answer. Coming to 24th question, what is called juvenile phase? Option A, after birth of organism, after growth, development and death of an organism. B is a time period after birth of organism showing growth, development and maturity. C, time period after birth of organism, growth, development and obtaining aging. D, time period after birth of organism, growth, development and production of offspring. Look at the first option, after birth of organism, up to growth, development, death of organism. In a juvenile phase, death of organism will not come. So the option A is wrong. Time period after birth of organism showing growth, development, maturity. It is the right answer, but look at the other option also. Time period after birth of organism, growth, development, obtaining aging. The obtaining aging is not a part of juvenile phase. So the C is wrong. D, time period after birth of organism, growth, development, production of offspring. Production of offspring, it is the next phase of juvenile, that is after reproductive phase, the production of offspring. So the D is also wrong. So the right answer is B, time period after birth of organism showing growth, development and maturity. Coming to the 25th question, there is no natural death in a single-celled organisms like amoeba and bacteria because options are there microscopic, they cannot reproduce sexually, they reproduce by binary fission, the parental body is distributed among the offspring. So in the question they mentioned there is no natural death in a single celled organism like amoeba and the bacteria. The first option they mentioned, they are microscopic, so it's not a correct option. The B is that they cannot reproduce by sexually, so they will reproduce by sexual, so it's not the correct option. They reproduce by binary fission. Bacteria can reproduce, but amoeba will reproduce by budding and multiple fission and all, so it's not the correct option. And the D is that the parental body is distributed among the offspring. Yes, it is the correct option. Because of the distribution of parental body among the offspring, so there is no natural death in a single cell organisms. So the right answer is option D. Okay, thank you students. Good luck for NEET 2020.